It's Madden NFL 23 on EA Sports, where we'll see which conference reigns supreme today. It's the New York Jets and the Minnesota Vikings under the lights on Thursday night.
And we find ourselves at the stadium that played host to Super Bowl 52, the wondrous U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis. Tonight, on this fine Thursday night, we've got a good one in store between the New York Jets and the Minnesota Vikings. And hi again, everybody. Alongside my partner, Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, when you and I were going through our final run-throughs at breakfast, we kept thinking tonight we're going to get to see a couple of very good passing offenses.
And we're talking about both sides having multiple receivers that can have an impact on this game. It's not just one guy that's going to make all the plays. If you take him away, maybe number 2, number 3, they make the big plays that impact who wins the game.
Jets kick team out now to boot this one away. And the opening kickoff will not be returned, as that will be a touchback. Minnesota's offense and QB Kirk Cousins set to go here.
And one nice thing you can always say about Kirk Cousins is that he's consistent. Always puts up nice numbers each and every year. If there is a downside to his game, it's been the lack of playoff success. All in all, though, a formidable starting quarterback at a time in the league where it's tough to find your franchise guy.
Here's Cook as they begin on the ground. And they're able to get this one across the 35. That's a pickup of 11 and a first down on their first offensive play.
That was good, tough running right up the middle. And if the defense can't penetrate and make him slow his pace or change direction, that's often the end result.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. To throw is Cousins. He's going to air one out. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Cousins. Open here, Adam Thielen. Now he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. Getting it to him in space pays off big time. That winds up going for 31.
Execution was one of their watchwords leading up to this one. And on that play, able to execute brilliantly here on this opening drive.
So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30. Cousins gives way to Cook. And he's going to get this down near the 20-yard line. That's over 40 yards of movement with those last 2 plays.
For a lot of guys playing this game, there's no better feeling than running right through a tackle. He's able to lower his center of gravity and churn his legs for a really nice pickup.
They run again on 1st down. Cook. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard. The impressive opening drive continues and just space being created by those guys up front.
We're seeing this the same way, aren't we? We are seeing an offensive line, as this game gets started, as it starts to unfold, that they are dominating the line of scrimmage.
Thrown toward the sideline, and Jefferson's got it. And it looks like he'll be just a yard shy of the 5 here as he's out at the 6. Cousins in step with Jefferson that time. First down, Vikings. They're going to look to throw toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
We'll put a check mark in the box where the defense coordinator was saying, how well can we stay with these receivers if we're in man coverage? Because he just did it on that one, force the incompletion. That allowed him to get bolder with his pass rush, won't it?
Absolutely, frees up your guys elsewhere. They'll get 2 on the keeper, but it becomes now a 3rd down. From the gun, here's Cousins. Touchdown, Vikings! T.J. Hawkinson from 4 yards out. And the Vikings put the Knights' first points on the board as they take the early lead. Quite the drive there to get things started. They took up the bulk of the first quarter, and they end up in the end zone.
And I love your last point. Ended up in the end zone. Because a lot of teams like those long drives, especially to keep their offense off the field, right? Keep the ball away from them. But they finished it with a touchdown. That's the exclamation point. Now, flip it over defensively. They've got to slow that down somehow, right? Maybe they need to be a little more aggressive. Maybe a few more pressures towards the quarterback.
Now Joseph tees it up to kick off following the touchdown. And this will be a touchback. Berrios deciding not to bring it out. So now here comes the Jet offense as they get ready to take over. They'll be led out by their quarterback who played his college ball at Western Kentucky. He was a Hilltopper. It's Mike White.
And there's a word that constantly gets thrown around with this guy when you talk to anyone in the building. Potential. They are sky high on what they believe he can grow into in the role of a starting quarterback. In addition, there are plenty around the league who think that as well. And years from now, he can still be leading this offense out.
They'll start on the ground. Hall slipped 1 tackle, but no more as he's knocked to the deck behind the line of scrimmage. They'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11. He stayed afloat for a second there after the first wave of contact, but that was going nowhere.
Yeah, what did he tell us in pregame? I just don't want to get my feet stopped initially when I'm trying to make a run. That's exactly what happened there. Unfortunately, as you noted, got away a little bit from the first one, but the wave swarmed him under.
After 1, 7-0 on EA Sports. The Jets with the football here to start the second quarter. Ball at the 24 and a 2nd and 11. On 2nd and 11 now. White, nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And the Vikings pick up the football. And they are going to bring this one back. It's a fumble return, a scoop and score for the Vikings. Huge play by the defense, not only to force the fumble, obviously, but to return it for a touchdown.
And I know it's no fun for anyone who plays offense, but isn't it fun to see how a defense rallies when there's a fumble return and everyone tries to find someone to block and bring it all the way home?
I always like their celebrations because they don't get there that often.
No, they're not choreographed very well usually.
Joseph connects on the extra point, and it's now 14-0. The scoop and score, always an exciting play in football, and we witnessed it there. Grabbing it off the ground and then rumbling it into the end zone for 6. So here's the kickoff now as he'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. And this will be a touchback. Berrios deciding not to bring it out. Back on the field come the New York Jets for their second drive. And they're in a bind early here, down 14-0. Are you worried at this stage or still too early?
You're worried. You're just trying not to transmit it to the rest of your team. You want to make sure that they stay positive. But at the same time, you're wondering, how are we going to move the football? What do we have on this play sheet that can work? Get back to basics is usually your answer. And make sure you find the guy who can move the ball fastest for you if you just get it in his hands.
Yeah, still second quarter. You get points on the board here. I think you're feeling okay. From the 27, White, that's good. And now a fumble. The ball's out, and the Vikings pick up off the football. And they'll start with great field position at the 41-yard line. A lot of talk this week about ball security. In fact, they added an extra period in practice to be more secure with the ball. It didn't work out there.
Well, sometimes you just get overexcited during the game. You may all of a sudden make your catch, see some open field, and decide you're going for it, and not realizing the danger lurks while you're doing so. And there's your end result right there.
Cousins now after the fumble recovery. And that nearly a turnover, but it's incomplete. Oh, fortunate to retain possession there, and it's second down. They go play action. Cousins. And this is dropped. Oh, it's incomplete. He had a big gainer in his sights, but he could not reel it in. Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete.
You're down 2 touchdowns. You just know defensively you absolutely have to come up with a big play. That nearly was one right there.
Looked over at the sideline immediately after the drop and just saw the dejection. They felt it. They thought he had it. Unfortunately, couldn't come up with it.
Well, Brandon, anything beyond 50, you start rolling the dice a bit. And once you get up around 57, 58 yards, the chances of making it go down dramatically. And sure enough, this one winds up no good.
New York set to take the field. Still in the first half, but this offense has struggled. Haven't really been able to get anything going, not only in the points category, but in the yards category. We'll see if they can do better here on this drive. 2 sides to every coin. This is the bad side of missing the 58-yarder. Now they start at the 48. On 1st and 10, White. Open man here is Conklin. And they'll get this down to around the 47-yard line. Throwing again on 2nd down. White had his hands on it but dropped it. The rookie making a little bit of a rookie mistake. 3rd down. From the shotgun, here's White. And a throw there going to be incomplete.
Not only did he have a chance to scan the field there, it felt like he had a chance to scan it twice. The protection was that good. Unfortunately for him, the coverage downfield, equally good.
And this will be out of bounds, and they spot it at the 15-yard line. Not too bad. And the football going back to the Vikings offense. It's been a good first half so far. They're up 14-0. Points here, that could really put them in command before intermission.
Yeah, and it's all well and good what they're seeing and how they're feeling right now. But it's the NFL. How many times have we watched 14-0 leads evaporate and quickly? So how have we seen them combat it? Continue to run your offense, but don't back off at all. Don't start looking at the clock. Don't start thinking about, hey, just take care of the football. Keep attacking. Usually the best way to maintain control.
A 1st down throw for Cousins. He'll be taken down. The Jets get in there for the sack. John Franklin Myers, the one in there to drop him. I think this defense, Charles, realizing the deficit they're facing, they're going to have to step up and make more plays like we just saw there.
Yeah, and those are the type of plays that can focus a defense because, as we know, they've had their trouble so far in this one. But they just proved to themselves that they can get to him. And I expect them to continue to bring that type of pressure in order to try and turn around their fortunes.
Work to be done here on 2nd and 16 after the sack. From the gun, it's a give to Cook. 59 yards rushing for him now in the ball game. So from 2nd and long, now we go to 3rd and very manageable.
Yeah, they love that phrase, don't they? Because as an offensive coordinator, you can keep people a little bit off balance and guessing because you don't have to throw it. You can come back with a strong run game if you want to. And if you're in 4-down territory, that really opens things up for you.
Cousins on 3rd and 2. Swinging this out wide here for Cook. The Jets are going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with a tick under a minute to go before half. Running for it. Here's Cook. And they will touch him down, but not before he gets the first. A big roll of the dice on 4th and 1, but it pays off. They convert.
So did you suspect the same thing that I did, that they were lining up just to draw him off sides here?
100%.
Well, how about that? They were going for it the entire time. Never a question in his mind about going ahead and getting it, despite where they were on the field.
Yeah, I don't know if you heard it in my voice when they snapped the ball. I was like, oh, I almost wasn't ready to call the play. I just kept waiting for the timeout offensively. So a chance to breathe easier now. 1st and 10 after the 4th down conversion. Setting up the screen for Cook. And down he goes at the 49, a 3-yard pickup. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts as they stop it with 28 seconds to go in the first half of play. 2nd and 6. No, scratch that. 2nd and 7. Now Cousins. Right back to Cook for another completion. And they'll get this down to around the 47-yard line. And this offense going to elect to burn a timeout with 5 seconds remaining in quarter number 2. Final play of the half. Cousins. He's going to wind up and air it out. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete. So we come upon halftime with our score 14-0. As we'll send you down to Orlando, and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much, and welcome in everyone to our downtown Orlando studios in this EA Sports Halftime Report. First up, though, let's take a look at the next-gen stats from that first half for the Jets. And they will need to get this passing game in gear because they did not do much of anything in that first half. And it's why the scoreline is what it is. Meanwhile, for the Vikings, we check out their numbers on the ground as they'll try to keep the momentum going into the second half. Final adjustments being made in the locker rooms. We're just about ready for the second half from Minneapolis. And for the call, let's rejoin Brandon and Charles.
Okay, Coach, thanks as always to you and the gang in Orlando as we welcome everyone back in for quarter number 3. Taken at the goal line. And all deep in his own territory, coughs up the football. And the Vikings pick up the football. And great field position coming up in the red zone at the 17-yard line. And that has to be so frustrating because you know that they had something set up there for this first drive of the second half. It wasn't the fumble.
Sometimes no matter what you go over at halftime, no matter what you say, errors will result, and that's exactly what happened here. They were trying to change things from what happened in the first half. Instead, they continue to make mistakes.
So from the 17 now, here's a 1st and 10. Cook up the gut. And he's going to get it inside the 10 to the 7-yard line. 77 yards for him on the ground now. He has been a tough man to bring down all night. 2nd down, they go right back to Cook. And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. 6 yards on the pickup, and it leaves him with a 1st and goal. We know it's a tough mission for this defense to hold him to a field goal after that long kick return, but they're one play away from doing it.
They certainly are very close to accomplishing what they needed to get done because they've treated this like a sudden change. You know, when the offense turns the ball over on a fumble or an interception, before you go out, you get together as a defense to go, sudden change, keep your poise, be ready to go. That's exactly what this group has done.
Cook will take this into the end zone for a Viking touchdown.
And that's a drive that makes everyone happy on that bench because they accomplish exactly what they set out to do. Take care of the football, eat up a little clock, end up in the end zone. Now they've got a cushion for the rest of the game. So they didn't just help themselves offensively, they helped their defense out as well.
Joseph now to have the PAT. And it is now 21-0. Scoring summary, 3-play drive. And it's capped off by the touchdown run coming from Dalvin Cook. Now Joseph tees it up to kick off following the touchdown. And not willing to risk another fumble, he'll sit on this one. It's a touchback. And New York set to take the field. I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, it has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the ball and move it fast. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions.
That will throw here to his running back. And he'll get this up past the 25 before he's out of bounds. Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28. Here's White. Looking onside, and he's got a man. That's more. And they're able to get this one across the 35. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Off play action, here's White. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football.
Much like a running back going through the line, quarterbacks have to be aware of protecting the football as well. He left it exposed that time, wound up having it knocked free, but fortunately, had an alert teammate who was able to get it.
So they keep the ball, but work to do on 2nd and long. White looks to throw. And this is incomplete.
Another attempt, another incompletion. And when I look at the scoreboard and where we are in this game, it comes to mind that they have to start getting the ball in the hands of their playmakers. Throw it to the guys that maybe can take a short pass and turn it into a long gain or make people miss downfield. They've got to have points. And the guys who can put the ball in the end zone, they're the ones that need to touch the ball.
Another drive comes and goes. Still nothing on the scoreboard.
Yeah, when the second half comes, it's real easy to get discouraged and wonder if you're ever going to get things started. You just got to fight through it. Got to keep pounding away.
Here comes Rager. Good coverage there. An even 50-yard punt leads to a return of 5. And the Vikings will take over here 1st and 10. Dalvin Cook taking the field for the Vikings' next possession. He's had a good performance, moved the ball effectively on the ground. Of course, he has the 1 touchdown.
And when you're able to move it as effectively as you've described, that leads to finding a way into the end zone, and now he's just trying to do it for a second time. And, of course, with that comes additional yardage. Yeah,
looking for additional yardage, and again, that second score here in the 3rd quarter. Looking to throw on 2nd down. Cousins. Right side, it's the tight end, Hockenson. And he'll be corralled right around the 34. He had the touchdown earlier. This one's going to get him a 1st down. Quarter remains here in this Thursday night matchup. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. And we return, welcoming you back to Minneapolis. A lot of happy faces in the crowd at this point as their guys have a big lead here to start quarter number 4. They'll try and wind down some clock with Cook. And just no chance of turning the corner. He can only get back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 coming up. Play fake. Cousins. And the Jets pressure too much as down he goes. John Franklin Myers able to drop him that time for his 2nd sack of the evening. So that time, Charles, quarterback helpless really in the pocket in the face of a pass rush like that. They were on him instantly.
Yeah, that's one where you turn to your lineman and say, guys, can I get a little help here? And you have to ask politely because, remember, they're blocking for you the entire game. But as a quarterback, you've also got to have the clock running in your head when you need to get rid of the football. But this time, he had no chance. They were on him instantly.
Lets it fly for Thielen. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete. And here's Ryan Wright now. Always a good sign when your first punt comes in the fourth quarter. We'll call that a punt of 54 yards. Well struck. And the Jets will take over. And New York set to take the field. At this point, partner, things looking pretty bleak. They still haven't scored here in the fourth quarter, facing the big deficit. What silver linings, what can they look to do here offensively?
You know, it's funny, I talked about this with a coach in the offseason and kind of had this scenario, like what feels good to you and what feels good to your team. You're down big. You really have like one possession left, and you're trying to put points on the board that don't matter. But do they? And he told me they actually do matter. And in this situation, he's going to try and run the best offense he can run to have at least a little bit of confidence to take away from that game. So right now, they're going to try their best to get something up on the board and not get shut out.
And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's Jets football as we get you reset here. They're looking at second down now as they search for a consolation score. To throw once more on second and 10. White. This pass out wide to Hall. They're going to need to get up and set in a hurry. Out of the gun, it's White. He's got a man, complete. And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. So now then, the big play has him all the way inside the 30 now, first and 10. White. To the right side, and he's got more, complete. And he'll be marked down right at the 20-yard line. And they're going to hurry back to the line now. And this is caught. For the moment, it's a touchdown, but multiple flags down, so let's sort this out.
Personal foul, roughing the tackle, defense.
So obviously they will decline the penalty there, and the result is 6 points.
That penalty is declined.
Now Greg Zuerlein on for the extra point. It's up, it's good, and that'll cut the lead to 21-7. A drive that time of 6 plays, and it's finished off by a New York Jets touchdown. So 2 scores down, time definitely not an ally, but here comes the onside kick. And the Vikings able to recover. The hands team does its job. The risk reward of the onside kick. When you don't get it, the risk comes out to play, and here they gave up great field position.
And that's the key to everything, because you're trying your best to press advantages when you have them, and field position leads you to that type of play calling. And whether you want to blitz or whether you want to throw the ball deep, those types of things, now that they've given up that type of field position, the advantage is switched to their opponent.
First down, here's the run with Cook. Now a timeout called for by the defense, as the clock will stop with 1:06 left to go in the game. You'd have to think likely another running play coming here, 2nd and 11. They run it again with Cook. Now the Jets going to use the second of their 3 timeouts as they get the stoppage with just over a minute to go in the game. The Jets will bring in a nickel set here as they try to stop this 3rd down. Here's Cousins. And that's complete to K.J. Osborne. And he's stopped up short of the first as they tackle him down at about the 36. Cousins to throw for it on fourth. But when this ball's tipped and intercepted. Picked off by DJ Reed. And the Jets are going to get the football here as he gets this up to the 38-yard line. Well, in all likelihood, this ball game's still over. I mean, even with the interception, two-score game, they need a miracle.
Curious decision to even throw the ball in that situation, but maybe they saw a stacked line of scrimmage and said, hey, it's better to try and throw than to try and run against it. In any event, I think you're exactly right. Now, the other team can pad their stats, but I don't think they're going to win.
Yeah, but still, don't change the channel just yet. Good starting position for the Jets as they come up 1st and 10 at their 38. Now White. Gets this to Moore. Give him a gain of 5 on the completion, and that's going to bring up 2nd down. To throw, White. And he'll go right back to Moore. Complete again. And they'll get him down on the other side of midfield. On 1st down, it's White. And check down, complete to Hall. Just a gain of a couple there. And it's 2nd down. Now White. One last shot at the end zone. And that will be incomplete. They were going for a consolation TD, but it was not to be. And time has run out now on this game. So the final seconds have ticked away in this Minnesota victory. And it was their defense that really paved the way to this victory as they allowed the 1 touchdown, and that was all she wrote.
Almost want to do the defense chant right now, right? Defense with a couple of claps in there, but no one wants to hear that from me. Let's just talk about how they got it done, though. When you take care of every aspect of the game, shut down the run, control the airways, right? Make sure the quarterback is harassed. This is the type of performance you get. They can't fashion together any offense, no consistency, and they just took control.